just a poor boy from Liverpool. I'm just a poor boy from Liverpool.
Good evening, everyone. It's History Night tonight. History Night. Well, before we all start, I've got to put in about my wonderful sponsors. These lads, I always have to go down. Got painting services. Please, if you know anyone who works for the NHS and is trying to do some decorating, for the summer or the ending of the summer, coming up to Christmas. Or if you know anyone who's elderly, both sets of people, that's the NHS workers and the elderly, get a special discount off Gap Painting Services. Just get them in to give you the price and you'll see what kind of a discount you'll get. Wonderful stuff. And if you even don't fit into those categories of working for the NHS or elderly and you're thinking of doing some decorating, get these people in. Ask for a price without any obligation. And they'll give you that. That's the sponsors of every single podcast that I do, whether it's tonight in history, whether it's tomorrow night and football, whether it's Thursday night on Free for All, because I give you your, well, you're always having your say, to be honest, but I think it's things to get off your chest on Thursday evenings. And also the Friday night show, Current Affairs, what's going on in the world today. And there's always great comments, by the way, no matter whether it's tonight, tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. I have a day off, you see, on a Wednesday, unless something happens. Unless something happens, that is. Then I'll have an emergency one. Let's see what you've been saying. Just take a gap off. I think you might think, what's he doing? You see, I have the camera right there. Right there. So I can't see. It's any move or too hard, so that's why I have to move my stupid head. But anyway, it's good evening from me, and I'm going to have a little sip of water. Salute. Lovely. And Franco, there's Franco. Franco's good, he always comes out with very historical things, historical facts, which is great. It's great for me. It really is. History is always written by the winners, yet the victors, they've always written about it. I'll tell you something in a moment as well. When two cultures clash, the loser is obliterated. Yes, and the winner writes the history books. Yes, and how they won it. Books which glorify their own cause and disparage the conquered foe. Brilliant. Well said, lad. That made up with that. Well said. Absolutely. And carries on by saying, as Napoleon once said, what is history but a fable agreed upon? Well, do you reckon that coincides with Leo Tolstoy and what he said? History would be a wonderful thing if it was true. Because it's always written by the victors, you see. You've only got to look at it for that, for what Leo Tolstoy said and for what Napoleon said too as well, is that what Trump said a few weeks ago, well, not a few weeks, a month or so ago now, when he said, "We won the war." Barack Obama said it in his inauguration. We won the two world wars. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They were only in the First World War for 11 months. And they had about 400,000 in that 11 months. 400,000. It was between 380 to 400,000 soldiers killed. In that, and you always see the casualties of Americans going in, and they've never won a war, being honest with you. But, you have the hierarchy of the Americans saying we always win wars. They don't. For America to go into a war, they always have to have someone behind them. That's a historical fact. Well, in there, Franco, first things out. Oh, Myra. Oh, lovely. Hi, Frank and friends. Hiya, Myra. A lovely girl from South Africa. And she's spot on there as well. History is made every day. Every single day. Absolutely. So 2 great comments. Well, 3 great comments. At the beginning, from our wonderful Franco and our lovely Myra. And Phil. Hello, Frank and chatters. Hello. Hello, Phil. Good to see you. It's great to see everyone tonight. It really is. It's really good. Oh, it's nice that people acknowledge. I felt, says Myra. It's good to acknowledge, honestly. It really is. And Myra says, I can use Gap painting services. My house needs a paint job in South Africa. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that, though? Could you ask me old mate Steve Holland coming to see me tomorrow? I might have paid. Hi, Stephen Holland. And Mr. B. Good evening, Don Franco and chat. Good evening, Mr. B. Good to see you. And Franco says, on this day in 1792, the French monarchy was overthrown. Angry crowds stormed the Tuileries Palace. King Louis the 15th. No, it's the 16th, isn't it? And Queen Marie Antoinette were arrested, later executed at the Palais de la Révolution. Yeah. The thing is, you see, with I've been there to where they've been executed, well, where they were executed. And it's sad, really. Robespierre was, he was a lawyer. And you know the way lawyers work, don't you? You know the way lawyers work. They spin everything. And Marie Antoinette, it was after a big banquet or something in the Palais. And she went down to the kitchen area, whatever, in the next morning. And there was lots of food left over. And lots of cake. And she said, give that to the peasants. Give that to the poor. Because she knew what was happening. So Marie Antoinette said, give it to the poor. Thing is, Robespierre twisted. He spun that. Because I think he found out of the, the servants and that what she said about the cake. Give it to the poor. And he said it's in the transcript, and she said they couldn't afford a crust of bread. They could not afford a crust of bread, the poor. And she said, let them eat cake. See the way it was spun. Brilliant thing, how we spun it. That was brilliant. Because if it would have come out and said, and she wanted them to eat the cake, she offered them cake to go down to the poor and let them eat cake. She wanted to give it to the poor, but he spun it by saying, and she said, let them eat cake while they couldn't afford a crust of bread. See what I mean? And it's only what? It's only like what Napoleon says, what Franco said, to be honest. It's a fable. And what Tolstoy said, history would be a wonderful thing if it was true. And this is what we've got. But I'll be giving you some great history of Liverpool and what we did, what we gave the world. So, thanks Franco for that. Thank you, Mr. B. Hashtag 97. I love that, Never forget that. Never forget that. And you'll never walk alone. Thank you. That's Amy, our wonderful friend from Newcastle. Our opening fixture. All right, Frank, how's it going? I see you've sold 30% of Bezos. I don't want him. I'm sorry. I know this is not football, but I'll be going into more depth tomorrow night. I will be. Because I just don't want him. I don't. Look. Well, we've still got owners who are friends with Netanyahu. Anyone who's friends with a war criminal like him, I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. And he will buy it. I was saying to Francine before, I said, there's no way that he's going to have a little stake, a 30% stake. He's one of the richest men. I think he's the third or fourth richest man in the world. And do you think he's just going to go in and, nah. It's like going into a shop, isn't it? A little corner shop. And he's buying a stake into it. For, say like how many sweets he sells. How many boxes of Maltesers. He's interested in the Maltesers. Nah. He'll want the old thing. He'll want it. And, if it's worth 6 billion, okay, it's a drop in the ocean. But what did I say a few weeks ago? With the economic situation, the way it's going now, especially in the Middle East with oil. Oil makes the world go round. I know they say money makes the world go round, but it's oil that makes the money go round. Oil. That's why Trump is always saying, oh, okay. And he's like this with the stock market. I said a few weeks ago that Liverpool, FSG will sell sooner rather than later. I did say that. Then all of a sudden, a few days later, bang, all this was not this, but, about stakes being sold to these Indian people. Then Bezos comes in. Yeah, don't want them. Don't want more Americans. I'll tell you one thing he'll do. This man is a stock market man. Stock market. That's where Man United went wrong, when the Glaziers put them in the stock market. Man United fans were going berserk over it. And that's what will happen to Liverpool Football Club. We'll just become a commodity for the stock market. And I do not want that. We're Liverpool Football Club. As Jürgen said, that means more than anything. But be talking about more about that tomorrow. And Polo. Hi, Frank. Hey, Polo. Hey, Polo. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Polo. Really is. Sometimes we disagree on things, and but that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Opinions, good chat. All letting on to one another. Love it. As the deal went through, yeah. No. Do you mean Bezos' deal? Or do you mean this new lad that we're getting on loan? That's gone on there, yeah. He's a Liverpool player. Why don't we just buy? Why don't we just buy a centre back? Why don't we buy a number 6? We can afford it. We're in the top 5 of richest clubs in the world. And we just sit back and go, no, not buying. When I say to Franco and Co, hope you all had a great weekend, says the lovely Toscana. My weekends are always quiet. Always quiet, to be honest. And Mr. B, or is it like the Barcola deal? Yes. Do you mean this new? I don't know what you mean, you see, Mr. B. Do you mean this takeover? That won't happen just yet, but it will be announced sooner rather than later. But if you mean the lad from Uruguay with another unpronounceable name, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he's a Liverpool player. Ronnie, his name is Ronald someone. And Lindsay, even in Frank and everyone. Hi, Lindsay. And Lindsay says, can everyone use caps to help Frank, please? Thank you there, Lindsay. Thank you. And as Davey says, quite correct, I think they are just dotting the I's and all that, Mr. B. That's what it is. And Mr. B says, we are no better than the Americans, us British at times. It depends on what you mean there. It really does, Mr. B. No, we're not. We're not any better. If you say we're still hanging on to colonialism, you've only got to look at Australia and New Zealand. You've only got to look at Gibraltar, the Falklands, for example. You've only got to look at that. And what about near at home, where you're from? Hanging on to Scotland. All right, they gave Scotland like autonomy with their own little government, but they can't do that without the Westminster. No, they can't do it. It's up to the big man in Westminster. And it's up to our big man waiting for the big man in America. If you know what I mean. They're deep state. They're controlling of us. It's nuts. There's no sovereignty anymore. Sounds Amy. Hello, Myra. Hope you're well. Says little Linda to our lovely Myra. And Apollo says, Frank, regarding your time as a lecturer, did you find the standard of students' grammar terrible? Critical thinking very poor at uni, very corrupt, as we see at Cambridge. Yeah, that fella, who's a doctor, and he never studied for being a doctor. It was given to him. And I'd rather not get into it because I'll be called for everything. I'll be called, but you're spot on there, Polo. You really are. And it's wrong. It really is wrong. I'm being honest, I could have gone to Oxford, but the prices was astronomical. I couldn't let my mum pay for that. She's well dead now, but she'd still be paying for it today. It was shocking what they wanted. Then you had to find gigs, after the first year. And down there, they charged the students, no, I'll just leave it at that. But you do get people who play on certain things and get everything. And it's happening all the time. And our lovely Myra says, in Wales, but you're spot on there, Polo. You're spot on. You just have good grammar, and you had woeful grammar. But you know what got me? The woeful grammar, to be honest. They got everything right, even in an essay. They were spot on. I knew a lady, mature student, beautiful lady. I'm not talking about features, she's just a beautiful person. She had 3 kids, single mum. And she was actually, I helped her out actually. And she was doing her essays from a street lamp. The orange street lamps. Because she was late with coming in with an essay to me. And it was 2 weeks. I was giving her loads of time because she was such a lovely person. And she kept saying, can I leave it another week? And I'll promise you. And so I brought her home this day. I said, come on, take it home. And she said, oh no, I said, come on. Threw her in my car, brought her to her house. And I seen the lamp outside her house, but I didn't know this at the time. And I went in, she called me in, She said, oh, thanks. She said, do you want a cup of tea? That's all I can give you. I said, yeah, okay, if you want. So anyway, I found out that she had nothing in the house. Her electricity had been cut, not cut off. I've never heard of them before, a card that you buy. It's like a pay-to-go sort of thing. And she had no electricity. So I said, come on. So we went around the corner to a corner shop that she went into. And I got her the electricity, only £10 worth of electricity. And I got her some groceries in as well. And then went back. Because that's when she told me, before we went around, and she said about her circumstances and electricity, and it was the lamp outside. She went into one of the children's bedrooms to write essays. Orange street lamp. She graduated great. You know, she was, I think she got a 2-1. She was great. And I seen her a few years later, and she was happy. She was remarried. She's happy with the kids and that, you know, they'd grown up a little. She was working, has a good job, smashing. Love things like that. And lovely marriages in World War II, 17 million Slavs and 20 million Chinese are killed, yeah. By the Japanese, by the Chinese, by the Japanese, yeah. And when you think about Ukraine during that time, you had a fellow by the name of Bandera. And today, he was a Nazi and he killed hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians. And today, you've got streets named after him. You've got statues up for him. And you've got the Azovs, who are all Banderites, and they're all Nazis. And we support them. Not me. Not you. Not the general public. But you do get the general public to supporting them. Unfortunately, I'm talking about now. I went on someone's pod today about football. Good lad, you know, he's a great lad. It wasn't him. But I seen this blue and yellow little thing, you know. So they know. They support them, but they haven't a fucking clue. These are backward people. Having a clue what's going on in Ukraine throughout the years. You know, going back to the Second World War, coming right up to the present day. And the 2014, well, the Minsk agreements of 2008, that NATO wouldn't move into Ukraine. But it was a ploy by Angela Merkel. And I always forget the French president's name. It will come to me. And it was all a ploy by them. Sarkozy. No, it wasn't Sarkozy. It wasn't Mitterrand. I forget his name. Anyway, it was all a ploy so that they could build up Ukraine's army with weapons, everything, arms, everything. And believe it or not, it became the biggest army in Europe to defeat the Russians. So they had a coup d'etat in 2014, backed by the CIA, who was led by Victoria Nuland, a Russophobe, horrible woman, American, Russophobe, and MI6. J.D. Quinn. Hiya, J.D. Quinn. Tuned in and liked before joining chats. Just saying. Thank you. Thank you, J.D. Fine Irish name that, isn't it? When I was in the juniors, I used to sit next to Margaret Quinn. She was a Scouser, but Irish background. Our school was great, you know, infants and senior, juniors. There's a lot of mixture of nationalities, especially Irish and the Italians, because that's where we were brought up. Italians and Irish. Margaret Quinn. And I always wonder what happened to her, you know. And her mate, Pat Shears, lovely person, Pat. Mad as an asset, and we were only juniors. Love it. Mr. B, get smashing the likes. Thank you, Mr. B. 21 watching, 6 likes. It's, I'm first season, I'm one of the 6. And Mr. B, same here. Oh, buddy. Even if Frank and everyone, hope you're all well tonight. Any news yet, Frank? Not yet. I'm doing history. Lee Brazy is my old mate, lovely fella, this fella, because he can't walk. And when, Diogo Jota passed, he put my name on this wall. Me and our Francine's name, which is lovely. Never forget that. But that lad's it for me. I went up one day before, the wall and the names, and it killed me, Went to see the memorial for Diogo, the flowers and the everything, the reeds, little messages. But it killed me getting up there. Anyway, a few days later, Lee Brady, MI6, he put my name on it and sent me a photograph. Never forget that. Will I forget that? And there's the star of Hollywood, Cedric Lopez. Big up, legends, chat. He has achieved success, who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much. Are you talking about me or Errol Flynn? I like that. And Franco says, sorry. No, listen, never say sorry to me. Because you're a good lad. There's some idiots, who look, I think everyone on here, they don't suffer fools lightly. If you know what I mean. So, never be sorry. I know that you don't, what you mean. Sorry if this is a silly question to ask. We saw how the revolution hit France and Russia, to name a few. How and why did Britain not go through the same process given we went, hard times. You've only got to go to the 19th century. Oh, there's the bear. Oh, there's the bear. Hiya, bear. Hi, Frank. Oh, bear. Fucking hell, I got worries again, mate. When was it last week or the week before? Nothing's happened. Oh, man, I made up to see it on here. I'm sure I've got an answer there, this Franco's question, which is powerful. I'll read it out again. It's a powerful question, this, or comment. Yeah, it's a question, isn't it, really? Sorry if this sounds a silly question to ask. We saw out of the revolution, but France, let's see where I am here. The revolution hot, France and Russia to name a few. How and why did Britain not go through the same process given we went so many hard times ourselves? Thing is, we did. I disagree with Cromwell. Cromwell was a fucking horror. Sorry to swear, I say swearing already. He was a horror, Cromwell. Horrible man. Horrible. But we went through what with him. And he messed it up for everybody. People went through a terrible hard time. They thought, oh, this is it. This is great. This getting rid of the monarchy. No more of this nonsense and bowing down to them. He was worse. Worse, that man. He hires a fellow by the name of Matthew Hopkins. And Hopkins, he came out with a cracking, it was horrible, like. It was horrible. But there's a saying, I'll put the fear of God into them. And he said that to Cromwell, and Cromwell said, yeah, go on, go ahead and do it. Gave him his blessing. And he used to just go into little villages. He started going into little hamlets first, then villages, then big villages, then small towns and big towns, grabbing anyone. He used to see people with a cat because during the Civil War, there was many, well, as you know, many dead men. And to get rid of the vermin, women, the widows, used to get cats, and they were deemed a witch, and they used to be hanged and ducked in water by this fella, Hopkins. And he did put the fear of God into people. Is that how you want it? And at the, when he died, and he was buried, Hopkins, Cromwell, what happened to him? Sorry, I had to do that. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. The ordinary people like ourselves dug him up, desecrated his body and cut his head off, and spiked it and put it on Traitors' Gate in London. That's what they thought of Cromwell. But he's everything. There are so many... Look. The Irish, for example, and what the English did to them. And I go back to 1566 with Sir Humphrey Gilbert. He went over to Ireland to use as a stepping stone so we could see what's going on in America. And he'd see how the indigenous native would fight, or if they'd just surrender. And when he went over in 1566, it's still going on today, really, isn't it? We still own a part of Ireland. What the fuck is that all about? Because you get bigots everywhere, unfortunately. Ireland is Ireland. Gibraltar is a part of Spain. The Falklands Islands is not the Falklands, be named after Falklands. It's the Malvinas. Belongs to the Argentina. Because you had the likes of Galtieri, didn't he, in 82, when he sent his troops over to claim it back. Thatcher knew all about it and sent an armada down. She knew all about it. It could have been avoided, by the way, because he tried to do it when Carlyle was in power. And David Owen stopped it. He sent him there communicate through the embassy down there. He said, don't do it. We'll send an armada down. Do not do it. This is to Galtieri. So he never done it. Thatcher wanted it. Because Thatcher was at the lowest of any prime minister in living memory. Because they wanted her out. She was ruthless. I don't like calling anyone a dog, but she was a dog, especially to Liverpool. So she waited and waited for Galtieri to get on the Malvinas or the Falklands, whatever way you want to call them, Then she sent down an armada and blew up a ship with 600 lives lost. And it was out of international. It was in international waters. It was out of the waters where she said this is a zone, and it was out of it. And she gave the green light for the submarine to torpedo it with 600 lives lost. The Belgrano, the ship, the Belgrano, 600 lives lost. So, you know, we've been through times, and as I think it was Mr. B who said, you know, we're as bad as one another. You know, I think he meant it that way, historically. Fucking right we are. What are we doing in Spain? Gibraltar. I don't believe in colonialism. I'm made up to see a bear. But as I said, Franco, you know, Cromwell spoils it for everyone. Well, you've only got to look at the way people, and I know a certain race of people, destroyed Jeremy Corbyn. Destroyed them. Certain race of people, not of this country, but part of, you know, their get into them. With people, with their own race of people here, by the way. And said, history time. Yes. And Lindsay says, Lee, lots of history all over Cornwall. Did you know that Cornwall, believe it or not, that Middle Eastern Arabs used to sail into Cornwall and grab the villages and brought them back to the Middle East and put them to slavery. Not many people know that, but now you know. If you didn't know, you know now. Talking the 1600s, like. But nevertheless, slavery is slavery. And not many people mention that. When the slave trade comes up, all about the slave trade. That's great, that bear. Cedric to the bear. Lovely. Love yous, you know, for that. Really too. And Davey, the Newcastle mate, Frank, have you ever done a show on the history of Anfield? Was looking at the old photos of St. James's Park. Amazing. Yeah. No, I've never done the history of Anfield, I'm being honest. As I said, I was watching I was telling our Francine, you know, before I came on the show. I only watched Jamie Phillips, I'm being honest. You know, the others are fucking useless. And I was watching Jamie, but this fella, I don't know where he comes from. He's not a Scouser, put it that way. And he said, I hope Bezos comes and knocks Anfield down and builds a new stadium. I had to comment on it. From a little boy, I'm paraphrasing now. From a little boy, I used to go to Anfield, and I did from a little boy, you know, going in the boys' pen, watching Liverpool play as a little mad kid, and other little mad kids. And as I got a bit older in the boys' pen, I used to bunk out of the boys' pen and go in at 3/4 time into the Kop. And that's where I got my first glimpse of the Kop. But my point is, what I said is this. Anfield is so full of history. It's so full of history. It's what we did. We won European Cups because of the rounds and the European Cup and also the Champions League. And that's what you've got to look at. The history was made at Anfield. And this fucking dope, sorry to swear again, ladies, and this dope said, knock it down, and if this Bezos comes in, knock it down and build a new stadium. I'm fucking fumed over that. See, these are people who haven't a clue. See, it's just Liverpool to them. It's Liverpool don't count as a city. It's just a football team. They don't care about me as a Scouser or any other Liverpool supporters as Scousers. They don't care. It's just a football club to them. It's not a local club, as we call it, to us. It's not, and that's the sad thing about some fans. I embrace fans from outside Liverpool, don't get me wrong. But, come on. I'd love to say, how old are you? Where are you from? But I didn't. Got to keep on first. And, Jamie says, yeah, can't leave Anfield. Behave yourself. So, yeah, Davey, I've never really done anything about LFC, the history of Anfield. And the polo, totally agree with you. I said it a few weeks ago, mate. But I was talking politically, over the economics, the way the economics or the economy was going through globally, and it's going to get worse and worse. And it really is. People are feeling it now. And they're going, I said at the time, and they're going, whoa, we don't want to lose money. And it's while the market's okay. And they will sell before the market plunges. And it will plunge. I'm telling you now. So you're right there, Polo. You're right. Spot on. And Phil says, I'm starting a rumour. Stanley Park earmarked for a new Amazon mega data set. Could you imagine Anfield? And I know that he only owes about 6% of Amazon now, does Bezos. But could you imagine this is, as the players are going onto the pitch, this is Anfield. Could you imagine this is Amazon? Could you imagine that? Wonder how we'd feel. Mike Davidson, hiya Mike, hello. FSG out. Well, that was to the point, wasn't it? Hello, FSG out. Love it. And Mike's a funny comments. A little Linda. Wish LFC would have let fans buy shares in our club. They can if they've got the money. Linda. And lovely little Maggie. Hi, Frank and Co. Hiya, Maggie. Oh, it's me mate. Little Joe. Yeah, if you want a businesswoman, I wish she'd buy us. Scouser. Made a fortune in America. Wonder if she knew Jeff Bezos. Oh, Joe. Couldn't agree more. Oh, little Joe. Big hugs, hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. I seen your yacht, by the way. I seen it. What are you like? Come and stay on the yacht. Okay. Great to see you, Joe. Honestly, sweetheart. And Linda says, anyway, what's today's topic? God blame me, I'm trying to say it's history. Franco's come on with loads of things, about history, which I'm glad, by the way. But I want to like do something like this in a moment or two. Mike says, those who say you don't need a gun to protect yourself have armed guards. Those who tell you to reduce your carbon footprint own private jets. And those who are warning us about rising sea levels have beachfront homes. Yeah, they do. They do. I love you people. And yeah, Joe. Yeah, I had to be honest. Joe Darling, I've never had time to, really message myself, but I've been laughing my head off. Our entrepreneur, the Scouse entrepreneur, making well, making good, making great, with yachts and things in California. And she knows some very influential people, but Hollywood people. She's not a part of the Epstein group, by the way. She's not one of them. And the Woodmaster. How are you, Frank? Evening chat. I've been on a trip to Northampton on my boat, but now I'm stuck because of the water drop. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. I love, honest to God, I love you, And I've got a lot to be taking. I've like 2 weeks today. My operation will be over because I'll be straight in. I've got to be there 7:30. I'm meeting the surgeon, then I'm meeting the anaesthetic people, and then they're going to knock me out, with the big baseball bat and throw me on a gurney and do operate, and then just lie in bed. And I've got a message saying, just bring an overnight bag just in case we're going to keep you in for a day or two. Oh, okay, so they might throw me out on the same day, which would be great, by the way. I'd love that. I'd love that. And that's 2 weeks today. So this time in 2 weeks, my operation will be over. Oh, the lovely. That was great. That was great. That I loved that. Mudmaster, I'll tell you honest. Thank you. You made me laugh. A lovely Mila to Linda. I loved it. And Davy says, I've just invented a new word, played. Oh, that's what I mean about plagiarism. I actually, I got someone expelled for it. I had to. It was wrong. I mean, if this particular person plagiarising, see, I let him. I didn't know whether to. I shouldn't have said him, but anyway, I let them off a couple of times, for some plagiarism. And then he had to do a powerful essay. And believe it or not, it was about the First Wales War. 10,000 words. And he played it. I remember reading, and I said, I've read this somewhere before, and I dug deep. It took me a week, and I finally got it, and it was word for word. The primary sources are all noted at the bottom. Everything. It was plagiarism in a big way. And I dug more deep at me and this colleague, like, and we found out that he was a friend of this fella who actually wrote it. And he had the original, handwritten, whereas he had the handwritten one typed out that went in. See what I mean? So we gave the lad the dissertation, the handwritten one, and he just wrote it out, threw it in, and he got expelled for it, found out. You don't do that. You don't cheat. People work hard. The lad who gave him it was told off as well, albeit that he left and was working. He's fucking got a right to talk to him. Plagiarism. And Phil to the woodmaster. Hope it's nice where you're at. Oh, it's nice where you're stuck. You can't make this up, can you? You can't make it up. The NHS be great. The NHS will be, do you mean gone? With all these doctors coming over on those boats. The NHS will be great again. With all the doctors and nurses coming over on the boats. You can't make this up, can you? But we've got a lot. And the woodmaster, Phil, it's absolutely stunning. Just at a place called Gayton Marina, trying to get up to Nantwich, but probably be another 3 weeks at least. Don't worry, we're having a heat wave this week as well. Temperature going sky high, even here in Liverpool. Oh, that was great, that master, honest. Oh, the lovely Bella. Buonasera, Franco and all. Buonasera. Bella. Thank you. Hello, Bella, says the woodmaster, who's stuck Gate Marina because of the water shortage. You can't believe it. You can't make these things up, can you? And the polo, Frank, what's the end game of Ukraine? Is it a split neutral state? See, the way the West has gone, and they've lost the war, Polo. They've lost it. They've lost it a long time ago. And now, with the likes of Odessa being cut off, they're landlocked, really landlocked now. The Russians will be just taken over. And don't forget that the Russian-speaking people in Odessa, Russian-speaking people, and that's why they'll just go there and just take over. I think they'll go to Kiev as well and just cut it right off from Kiev right down and just say, yeah, you have that, because Putin's already turned around to Hungary, Romania, and Poland and said, you can take your lands if you want. So that means, Ukraine will be no longer, because Poland, Romania, and Poland, Romania, and Hungary will just take their land back. What Stalin took off them, the Soviets. Because they wanted a buffer zone, didn't they? after the Second World War. So they'll just take it back. Putin said it. Just take it. Have it. So there'll be no more Ukraine. And what are the West going to do then? Trump was saying about these minerals, earth minerals that he's sold. Russians have got them. Do you think Russia's going to say, yeah, okay, yeah, Donald, you can have them. You can have them in America. You can have them. We don't want them. Do you think he's going to say that? No. And that's the way it is, Polo. Really, you know, it's just that you've got to look. What I don't like about the wars as well is Zelensky. He's a rat in. He's horrible in. I've seen footage of people. There was a girl and a lad in a car, and they just parked up a minute, and all of a sudden this van came up, and these fellas just opened the door and grabbing the fella out in Ukraine to send him to the front. That's been going on for a long, long time. I'm going to show me mate tomorrow footage. I've got it. Just dragging these people off the street. You see them dragging two fellas off. One of them must be as old as me, white hair. They're dragging anybody. And people are saying about peace prizes for this fucking lunacy. Zelensky. Actor, comedian. And Mike Davidson, these backward folk also, guys, with rooms. Says that, like Zelensky's putting out, or putting women on the front who are actually pregnant. Did you know that? You heard about that in the Western press? Evening, Bella, says the tea. Bella. I would, Master. Thank you, Jay. President Hollande. Couldn't think of his name. Thank you. It was on Merkel. Well, then, JD Quinn. See our Irish mate. He just came right in. Hollande. Hollande. Even a Barry says the tea. Right, I'm staying with you. And Davey says, I think there's a new film coming to the pics about the peasants' revolution. Is that the Todd Puddle Martyrs? It'll be about them. See, the likes of, I thought Franco might have mentioned, you know, about the French Revolution and the Marseillaise. And the Marseillaise, you know, which I think it's I think it's the best national anthem. I really do. I think it's fabulous. And what it was some woman who wrote it, but she wrote it in Marseille. That's why it's called the Marseillaise. Because lads from Marseille went up to Paris and marched through the streets singing the Marseillaise. That was written by that woman. And that's why it's simply called the Marseillaise. Very powerful. Very powerful. But what are we? God save our king. And it used to be God save the Queen. Yeah, okay. Uh, my old mate Dennis Pepper. Hey, Franco. Think there were several examples. He's speaking to Franco. The anarchy between Stephen and Matilda, the English Civil War, the Glorious Revolution, and various Jacobite uprisings of the early Georgian period. Thing is, you see, the Jacobites, we hanged some Jacobites here in Liverpool. I think I said it about it on a DVD, one of my DVDs, and top of London Road, as we call it, London Road, and we hanged Jacobites, traitors, and how did we hang them? It wasn't just with a rope, with chains, which is horrible. Just hang chains. And Cedric, to see Frank quote was for both of us. Just made up for you, honestly, Cedric. And Bella says, who is the most underrated monarch in history? Oh, what single royal decision completely changed the world's history for the worse? Look, you look at all the royals, and you look at the First World War. And the First World War, believe it or not, I'll have to have another swig of my water. And the First World War was just a big squabble between royal families, believe it or not. They were the British, the Russians, and the Germans. Big squabble. But you can get like you can look at Italy and Umberto threw him out. You know, they said enough's enough, bank gone. The French, the Spanish, get out. Don't want you, and they never ever brought them back. By the way, the Germans didn't bring their monarchy back. After our Civil War, we did. In 1660, when Charles II, and it was through Parliament, they said, yeah, let's bring back the monarchy to stabilise the country. What for? So they brought Charles back, the second, the son of Charles I. And they've been going ever since. And why they were brought back to bring stability, it's only what it said about Cromwell. And people accepted it. They're thirsty. See, this afternoon I had, loved them, you know. I had a couple of sausages, pork sausages with apple, and crispy bacon. I shouldn't have had the bacon. It makes you dry, doesn't it? Stupid. But if you like sausages, ladies and gentlemen, get some, I mean this, pork and apple. Oh. the most underrated monarch. I don't like any monarchy. I can't answer that. It's one of those questions that say I'm not a monarchist. Never have been, never will be. And I don't like the hangers on either. There's loads of hangers on. Even today, with our monarchy. Do you know where you say it? What single royalty session completely changed the world's history for the West? Henry VIII, for example. Henry VIII. Did you know he never ever won a battle? Never ever won a battle. The eighth. And the likes of Elizabeth, who had not the likes of, who had Mary Queen of Scots beheaded because she was a Catholic. And they couldn't afford for another Catholic to come on the throne. And she was in line because, look, it was imperative. I'll just say this. It was imperative that Elizabeth should become queen. It was imperative that she should marry and have heirs to the throne. It was imperative. So you had the likes of Walsingham behind this. And when you go further after Walsingham, you had other people like the Cecils who were worse than Walsingham. And they would have said, fucking marry you. Get married and have a couple of kids. Have a boy or a girl or whatever. That'll be next in line. Why didn't she marry him? What was the spin about her marrying the country? Eh? That's the spin. Oh, she married the country, because she loved the country. She's a fucking man. That's why she couldn't marry. She was a man. Ball pattern. Male ball pattern. Baldness she had. She has one of these, Adam's apple, that go up and down your throat when you talk. She was 6'1" tall. She had a gruff voice. She shaved every day. She had big arms and big hands and big feet. No one was allowed to see her bathe. So, changed Wales history for the West. It'd have to be that fella who calls himself Elizabeth. And the instigators behind it, Walsingham. If you ever think it cost a lot of money, and this is why it cost a lot of money. There was a girl by the name of Christine Hunt, and she wrote a book called The Bisley Boy. I used to love it. And some prick said to me, oh, Lindsay, I forgot who it was. And I said, yeah, Lindsay, never ever got a fucking back. And to buy that today, I think it's more now than 35 quid. Read that. The Bisley Boy. Even Blackadder. Fuck off. What's this? Even Blackadder, they skittered at it. The Blackadder. Rowan Atkinson. During the Elizabethan periods when they were doing skits. The French know that she was, not the French, the Spanish knew that she was a man. I'm sorry about this. I wanted to talk about things. And Stephen Cochrane, good evening, Frank, and fellow chatters. Hope everyone is well and at peace. Yes. Thank you, Stephen Cochrane. Big up, Cedric. I'm going to go right down now, people. Can everyone hit the likes for Frank? The main man, please. Thank you, says Stephen Cochrane. Thank you, Stephen Cochrane. They don't. Do you know how many people I need to get me 2K? 60. 60 people to get to 2K. And I'll be a happy bunny then. A happy bunny. And see, though, not good, Barry. Things can only get better. Little Lindsay. And she's right, you know. Anfield means little late on a slope. That's why you've got the Arkles Lane. On a slope. And Steve Mulholland's, I see a great video about the history of Anfield on YouTube. Stay tuned for favour if you're still with us. You know, tomorrow, and this sounds terrible, will you bring up a packet of chocolate malted biscuits? Packet of chocolate malted biscuits. I'll send you the text because I know he's coming to see me tomorrow. And we can say, I never got any when I went shopping. Hi, Maggie. Hope you're well, says Lindsay. And Stephen says, FSG are bad eggs, so John Henry is quids in to buy Linda a fancy new dress and a fancy yacht, along with fat cigars after selling steak. They're going to be bought out. They're going to be bought out. That's a foregone conclusion. There's no way that Bezos or these, it's just going to buy it. That's the end. They'd be doing the due diligence and that. I'm being right into it. And Franco says, isn't it sad that things such as the printing press, which up until the start of the early 90s was how it was possible to ensure spread of knowledge, literacy and scientific progress on a global scale? Yes. Yes. Unbelievable. Claxton. And this little printing thing. Then you go back. That's how Shakespeare's plays, you know, finally were printed. The great plays of Shakespeare. What a man. What boatman. Well, in there, Franco. Maggie Thatcher was a twat. No, I never swore. It was him, Stephen Cochrane. I didn't swear. Thank God she's in the mud. Lazy muck. That's him, not me. Shall we ban him? Shall we ban him? Stephen Cochrane? You'll come through this up strong, mate. Thank you, Mr. B. I hope so. I hope so. And Stephen says, well, good luck and fingers crossed for your operation. Goes well, Frank. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Mr. B. you know, you might think I'm just saying it, but I really mean it. Thank you. And Mulholland stay. Mulholland's. Will Bezos with Liverpool finally sign a player in his prime? Do you know what, though? You can't make these things up, can you? You really can't. Why don't we just buy someone? We're buying a loan. We're not buying a loan. We're bringing a loan in. We have to pay his wages, which is nonsensical. Because every time we send out someone on loan, we have to pay their wages. And yet, Barca said, if you want him, you have to pay his wages. But I'm not. We need iron. We really do in our midfield. We need someone with a bit of, go. Like a Tommy Smith. Or if that's too hard, Mascherano. Oh, that's too hard. Fabinho or Dizzy Man, someone like that. That's a number 6. And we haven't got one. And we haven't had one for 4 years. And this is the 4th year I've been asking for one. But you like there, Stay Holland? I hope you will, says Linda. And Davy. The wood, Noah Master, the rains will come. I think he's built a little lark to you. And he's not telling us what's in it for us. What's going to happen? Apocalypse now. Big flood. Loads of rain. And he's all right on his little ark. On a canal somewhere. Oh, that's a cracker, that, Dave. Bella. Frank Il Grande. Verolaker Intervento. Andre Benissimo. Andre Benissimo. Oh, grazie. Oh, grazie. See our lovely Italian and our lovely English-speaking people as well saying, I'm all right. Thank you so much, Bill. Mille grazie. Just imagine it. I'm having the operation on the history night. I think everyone will be made up. No history tonight. And Franco, do you find frustrating that each generation either has gone through war, hunger, deprivation, or disaster, yet as a race, despite the advance of science and innovation, we never learn from it? No, we don't. We do not. This is why there's a war going on in the Middle East. This is why there's a war going on in Ukraine. That war should never have started. There would have been nearly 2 million Ukrainians alive today, and I'm talking soldiers, alive today. If Zelensky hadn't walked away, well, it was through Boris Johnson. And really, Joe Biden, who told Johnson to get over there and stop this signing, everything, because they would have still had all the territory. Crimea, Donbass, they would have had all of it. But he went over, bang, stopped it. Nearly 2 million Ukrainians are dead because of it. Remember what that horrible man said, Lindsey Graham? And that came, before he died, to the last Ukrainian. Remember that? to the last Ukrainian, and that's what's happened. And they never won. They thought they could take Russia. Never take Russia. And Barry to TW, sorry to hear that, mate. Hope things improve soon. Waiting for my CT and nuclear scans from a Clatterbridge. Oh, for fuck's sake. If all good, we're going to try and get a week away. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't like to hear any of our people there being ill, you know. In Toscana. A bit of LFC history, 10th of August 1977, King Kenny joined, and the rest is history. Yes. I said, who are we going to get? And pops Kenny's elderly, you know, to replace Mighty Mouse Kenny Keegan. And the rest is history. Davy. That Elizabeth sounds like some lasses. There's fucking loads of them around here as well, I'm telling you. Loads in America. And Mike Davidson says, my wife is Catholic, I'm Protestant, so many priests love young boys, why? So do, you know, the little bishops of other religions, I'll just say. Should be young, those priests. Loads of others should be young as well, Mike. Loads of others. Don't, you know, because you're a Protestant doesn't mean to say that you're free from little boys. Does it? And Davey says, Shakespeare walks into a pub, barman says, get out your bath. One for the thespians there. Did you see? I can't believe this. You know, Odysseus and the Bards, and that was a fucking rapper. Would you believe it? I couldn't believe that. I know it's inclusion and diversity and everything, what Mike fucking thing he was trying to do, but that was a load of bollocks, that. And Ellen Troy, Ellen, who launched 1,000 ships. What the fuck would she have launched? When you got to go to a little boating lake, she wouldn't have ever launched a fucking canoe. The little boat. When you went footy, when you went to footy as a kid, Frank, do you remember the pet shop opposite the cop gate? I don't, Maggie, because I came up from Scotland Road, up Everton Valley, along Waltonbreck, and just straight in. I might have just passed. I don't know. Could have just passed it. Because we always walked up on the side of where you went in, if you know what I mean. You know, where there was loads of terraced houses, then the pub, and then used to just go in there. I don't remember, Maggie. Oh, sorry, sweetheart. Shearer-style player, hard as nails, can play and stick his foot in now and then. Yes, Mike. He was great. Suey. Really great.
To listen to Apple Music, need to accept the latest privacy agreement.
That was my phone. Anyway, Phil says, Frank Jeremiah Wales War One, and afterwards, the Americans stripped the historic literature from much of Europe and shipped it to America. It's still in storage. They funded historians of Cambridge and Oxford, one of two. Frank, I was asking any news on up to. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 2 weeks today. 2 weeks today, Barry. And Phil says, true. The exact evidence and details are in a book I left with you. Oh, okay. Okay, Phil. And Stephen Threlfall. Hi, Frank. I spoke to you recently about a project of a story about LFC history. The picture copyright. A nightmare. I have opened up a GoFundMe on my account to help me with this. The story is finished now. Hope one day to show it to you. Thanks, Steve. Any help is gratefully appreciated. I'll have you on my show after me up. When I'm okay, Stephen, I'll have you on the football show. It's have to be. All right. Talk about it then. I'll go under me up 2 weeks today. You need to see who is funding the university, says Phil. I did try and send a poem to you, but you said it didn't come through. No. Some snakes in politics, says Phil. Oh, loads of them. What time is it? Oh, I've got loads of time here. And Mike said, well, it's all made through COVID-19. Fresh air is bad for you. Remember the Great Reset? Yes. And Mike says, yes, both religions have issues, but the Catholic Church, oh, come on. The Catholic Church has its fair share. The worst mob is those that like marrying young girls. I'll say no more. I tell you who like marrying young girls and who liked young girls even before he got married was Charlie Chaplin. One of the greatest comics of all time. Charlie the chap. Oh, Maggie said, that was my mum's shop. Oh, was it? The little, no. Used to be, you know, we're talking football, going up there. See, we never ever went into Chippies either because we just had our dinner. We only lived here, more or less on top of the ground. And just walked up, went in, shouted all the time through the match. Came out, went right. It depended on our age. Used to just go straight. I used to just go straight home, get changed, and go into town. Saturday nights. Great. And Davey, he was brilliant, Stevie McMahon, and he was a big Evertonian, and I know his family. I didn't know Stevie, His family, and I mean bitter blues, very bitter. He was a blue himself. I was never approached in church of Scotland, but my brother-in-law suffered, hence my rant, sad times, 40 years of it. I remember getting a couple of slaps off the priest, like, but that's because me and my mate were laughing at benediction, in benediction, that is, as kids. Where I grew up, I don't think any priest would make a fucking move for us. They would have been hung, drawn and quartered where I grew up. Families there. Telling you. And Barry Frank, I mean, I'm fine. The scans are precautionary because I had some pain in my shoulder. My medicine keeps me upright. The cancer is in my bucket now, but I'm absolutely fine. But thanks for the concern. Fucking hell. Fucking hell, Mike, come on, give us a break, will you? That was in the Catholic Church. Yeah, well, I got that, but you said you married a Catholic. And you said was it your son-in-law, brother-in-law, something. So obviously. Two weeks for you, that's brilliant. You will all be thinking of you, Frank. You know, yes, I've been waiting 4 years. 4 years. Like Liverpool waiting for a I've always said that this is the 4th year waiting for a number 6 to come in. Not going to get one. I'll stay. Thanks, Frank. We did meet a long time ago. I'm pretty sure. One dropped you off text. Most probably, Stephen. Most probably. If you know where I live, come up and see me. Sit down and have a chat. Before I go into Aussie, that is. Just come and see me. And Dennis, a great fella from Florida, Tampa. Nashville, Tennessee, the buckle of the Bible Belt. More churches per capita than any other city in the US. Well, that is the Bible Belt, isn't it? You know, they warn people about the Bible Belt. I was looking at something. I was looking at Jimmy Dore only today, and it was this girl. Oh, fuck her now. She was a Zionist, Christian Zionist, and what she was saying, she was, out of the Bible, whatever fucking Bible she was reading from. And there was a fella named Frank. What was his name? He was bitter, and he said, Dennis, that, Candace Owens, lovely girl, Candace, and he said she should be put to death with a sword. I'll even come looking for you, he said. He should be fucking locked up, him. That, to me, is inciting murder by an individual on another individual, and you should go to jail for that. That's threatening. A fella named Frank. Get the Jimmy Dore show up. Yesterday's one. What this fella was saying. And what this stupid girl was saying. About Candace. Especially that Frank fella. And Phil to Dennis, I has work outside of Philadelphia, Bethlehem, and Nazareth. Can't make it up, can you? Bethlehem and Nazareth in America. Frank, remember the hospital gowns? Go on, back to front. Yes. And as they said, bring a little overnight bag. Okay. I know, Davey. And you know what? You're not going to believe this. Someone will have to do it for me. Tie them. Because I can't lift my hands. I can't do it. I can't put my arms my arms around my back to tie anything. Unless I put it on back to front. And we know that it's open, so we'll get 6 months. By the way, not much brotherly love in Philadelphia, says Phil. Because he's worked there. And Mike Davidson. Frank will have his big whip. Come down and stick up. That's why I think I'd have to put it on. That's why I'd have to put it. I think I'll bring a belt with me, just tie that around. And Davey says, Barbara Windsor image, you mean? You can imagine it, couldn't you? You could imagine little Babs. That's why they could never, ever, ever make a Carry On again. It's not only that, but it's the dialogue as well. They could never repeat the dialogue that was meant, said the films. Not only that, but also the actions. Who could replace Kenneth Williams and Charles Oakley? Hey, Barbara Windsor could be. Who could replace Sid James? We're having trouble streaming on Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook end. Facebook's end. Is it possible the stream was ended or deleted? That's what happened to me on Friday. Was it Friday? No, Saturday. When I had to finish. Quickly. Frank, make sure they don't get the operating bed in the wrong way around. Maybe a neck straighten up. Try to the all right. Dennis says, Phil, my ship USS Saipan La 2 was at the Navy Yard in Philly, October 87 to 89 for the refit. Loved it there. The colonial era historical preservation was wonderful. Now, do you see what Dennis says there? Because his country is only 250 years old, and he's saying there, loved it there, the colonial era, historical preservation was wonderful. I was on my toes there. I also spent a lot of time and money at the Irish pub. Its actual name at the 20th and Walnut in City Centre. The 20th and Walnut. That's the Irish pub for you. Or did they just call it O'Flanagan's? Davey saw a clip of Les Dorton. They challenged people to go into a room and not laugh. Les was sat at a table. He just pulled one of his faces. He was magical. What I'm watching now is Life's Too Short. I used to have the DVDs, so when my old partner got me it for Christmas. The DVDs when it was out. Never laughed so much in all my life at that. Warwick Davis. Absolutely amazing. Try and watch it. I'll tell you a film to watch. And I watched it the other night. If you want like serious with comedy, and it's in Bruges. Absolutely amazing. That Ralph Fiennes he steals it. Ralph Fiennes. Brendan Gleeson's in it. Watch it if you can, please. Ralph Fiennes is absolutely amazing. Ralph Fiennes is one of the most dramatic actors. He's always in these dramas, But I've seen him in that, in Bruges, and also the Grand Hotel Budapest. He's brilliant in that. Comedy at its height. Dark comedy. And Dennis to Phil, their sports fans, inverted commas, are a bit mental. They'll grant you that. But all fucking mental. Well, I never got said to me what I was going to do, did I? And I'm not going to start it now. Because I wanted to give you all the first. What Liverpool have given the world. You know all about the railway. We gave it to the world. The dock system. We gave it to the world. But I'll be going into more detail. I'll have to do it next week now. Just seeing that. Look. See, now I mentioned Frank, two great films. Love them both. See? Dennis, honestly, mate, I think one of the fun, it's so gentle as well, Dennis. I'm glad you're there. And it's a great cast, this. And I'm going back to 2000s when it was released, 2001 or something like that. And it's absolutely brilliant. You've got Oliver Platt, brilliant actor. Brigitte, not Bardot, Fonda, brilliant actress. You've got, I think he's brilliant in it, Brendan Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson. And it's called Lake Placid. But it's got to be the first one, none of the other nonsense. Dennis, watch it. Please watch it. It's absolutely amazing. So fun. That Brendan Gleeson is brilliant. And Davey says, another great film is Yesterday, about a bloke who wakes up after a coma and is the only person. Oh, brilliant, that. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, that. It is. Is that the same one where he's there, he's singing all the songs and that? They all think he's great. I love it. Love it. That's great, that, Davey. I think it's that one, isn't it? And they all love him, don't they? They all think he's great. Singing the Beatles songs, writing them and everything. Can't make these things up. And Zenna says, been there several times. Mum's folks spent their retirement years in nearby Bonita Springs. A lot of old money there, mate. Do you know what? Doesn't that sound? It sounds like a holiday resort, doesn't it? Where are you going for your holiday? I'm going up to Bonita Springs, going over there. Oh, it's lovely there. Sounds like a bloody, a holiday place, doesn't it? Where you go for vacation or your holidays or. And Davey says, aye, that's the one. Yeah, it's so funny. So funny. What was I watching? See, I don't like remakes, I really don't. Like the Rockies, don't like any of them. And there's been more or less. I watched. I see the original. The original Nobody with that bomb Oderker was brilliant, and I watched it again last night. It was brilliant. Nobody 2, nah. But a new one's just come out, and it's called Normal, and it's about a place in America called Normal. And he plays a sheriff who's easygoing, and I thought this is brilliant, and you see him, but you see it then, and you go, no, not having it. That's a bit stupid, near the end, and I thought, fuck that. But yeah, but I thought it was. I never watched the ending because it was predictable, fucking stupid. It really spoiled it. But it was like it's just like Nobody again. Tennessee stays in Bonita Springs. Oh, go on, no coincidence. And Dennis today, and his chat with Lennon, brilliantly played by Robert Carlyle. He's a relative down the line, do you know that? Went to see him. And one word I said, well, not one word. I just said, are you any related to Thomas Carlyle, the great historian, 19th century? He said, yeah. So am I. But I don't bother with the Carlyle family. I only Italian. That's my roots. I didn't know my fucking dad. Didn't want to know. People say I had too much water. Fuck off. Not having it. If you have a dad, you have a dad. If you don't, you fucking don't. And I was one of them. He was a New Zealander. And he went over, to build a house in New Zealand, which he did, by the way, not getting away from that. He was a war hero. He was in the SBS. Built the house, but my old girl, she was Italian. And he said to her, they're very family orientated. And he said to her, my grandparents, said, take a look at your to her, mate, that'll be my great-great-grandparents. They were sitting on the couch. He said, give them a big hug because you'll never see them again. Because they were frail then anyway. Because you're going to the other side of the world. And once they said that, she just went, I'm not going. And that was the end of it. That was the end of it. Never went. Could have been a New Zealander. G'day there, Mrs. Jessup. Could have been one of them. But one of these Kiwis. Dennis, yes, great ending. JJ, I chat. That film Normal is a Fargo rip. Yeah, get in. Well done. The best Fargo I've seen was with Martin, the English actor, Martin Freeman, and Billy Bob Thornton. That's the best I've ever seen. That Billy Bob is in top form in that Fargo. But well done, JJ. Get in there. Love that. Do you think I should bring back my film night? TV and film night? Because every time I suggested something, there was only one of you. I've seen that, Frank. Yeah, I watched that. Great. I always remember for weeks I was saying it. There was two American TV series I wanted them to watch. No one was watching them. And they're brilliant. One is called The Outsider with Jason Bateman. What an actor. He's great, him. I like Bateman. And the other one was Your Honor. Brilliant. Brilliant. Two series. And no one watched them. One person watched, I think, The Outsider and said, oh, it's great, that. So, but they're going on for ages. Saying of shit, and I was mentioning films and everything. No one's seen them. But well done, that lad who said that. JJ, I think it was, about rip-off Fargo. Get in there. And Davies, there's a small mining village up here called No Place. Getting a taxi there must be. What's he trying to look for? It's on the map. If you've seen it, Jay, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh. The banshees of Inisherin. And Phil says, Frank, watched an interesting video today, part about the Knights Temple Castle, Knights Templar Castle, now in Israel. No one is allowed to go into the castle ruins, guarded by special IDF Marines. Fuck them. Don't like to. And JJ, that was the series. Yeah, do you mean Fargo, the series? Yes, but I've seen the film as well. But the series were, JJ, if you haven't seen Fargo with Billy Bob Thornton and Martin Freeman, please watch it. Martin Freeman's Billy Bob, top form. The Coen brothers, you see, they're absolutely brilliant. Malvo, yes. So you've seen it. And the history of Crusades is mind-boggling. I did the Crusades, but I only did the ending of the Lionheart, Richard the Lionheart, and that corruption that was going with it. That's all that it did. That's in my studies, by the way. That's all. Never ever taught it. Never taught it. Mostly Romans for me. And then later, down the centuries, the English Civil War and the French Revolution, First World War, Napoleon, Bonaparte. Do you know when they say Napoleon? And they say Napoleon Bonaparte. It's not, it's not how it's pronounced. It's Bonaparte. Italian. Think about that. JJ said Billy Bob Thornton was Malvo. Yeah, I know, the series. That's why I laughed when you said Malvo. He's brilliant. I'm just thinking about him. Oh, nice one. My mate. Yeah. I watched Teenagers from Outer Space because of you. Don't say nobody watches your recommendation. Do you remember me when I said that, yo? Teenagers from... Oh, fuck. Oh, brilliant. Oh. Phil say, Frank, no, I didn't. No. I think I was too busy gallivanting, to be honest. Gallivanting. No, I never watched the Fast Show. And JJ says, that's Fargo, isn't it? I've watched all 5 seasons. The first 3 are superb, yeah. You see, I don't watch series that are long. Like I mentioned The Outsider, JJ. It was only, I don't know whether it was 8 or 10. And I watched it all in one day, back to back from morning, till night. And that was it. The lot, brilliant. Jason Bateman. And Bryan Cranston in Your Honor, absolutely brilliant. But they brought a second series out and I wouldn't watch it. I think it'll be, the first series, absolutely brilliant. Highly recommended if you haven't seen them. That's The Outsider, Jason Bateman. And there's only one series of that. And just watch the first series, don't watch the second. I wouldn't. I didn't watch it, I'm saying, so I'm not telling you not to watch it. If you're on it with Bryan Cranston, brilliant actor, him. Love him. Frank, man. I struggle to find Sam. I'm on the last episode of Dallas. No spoilers, please. Who shot JR? It was Debbie who shot him. Debbie shot him. Oh, lovely Myra's going. Lisa, Frank and friend. Oh, Myra. Oh, see you later, Myra, sweetheart. Oh, Davy to Myra. She's lovely, all the way from South Africa. But she told me, she said, I've got a fella. Do you think she was saying something to me? I've got a fella now. Okay. I'm Phil chased about it. Bye, Mary. JJ's laughing. What's he laughing at? I'll maze up, We've got to, keep the family together. I think JJ's laughing his little head off at us, Convorting. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm posh, JJ. I do convert. JJ, yep. The second one of your honour was go away. So you watched it? No, I wouldn't watch it. That's why I think I said I'll be fucking predictable. That I don't watch anything like that. Don't like predictability. Well, in there, Jay. And nice one. Ah, my lovely Bella. Buonanotte, Franco. Abicora di te adome bene. Thank you. And she's saying, I hope you sleep well. That's what she says in that beautiful language of my mother's language, Italiano. Thank you, Bella. Mille grazie. Mille grazie, Bella. Buonanotte, cara mia Bella. A Marcella. E Marcella, anche. And first is from what your mum would say when you're getting a telling off. Oh, Galvin there, yeah. Was his galvaniting. Galvin. Yeah. Where were you last night? I don't want to know. And then you sit down, you're trying to get a cup of tea, and then, where are you going to tell me? And you go, I don't want to know. What can you say to that? Great man, friend. Gallivanting all night. That's great. That's great, that gallivanting all night. Honestly, that's true. It's true, Phil. Gallivanting. I haven't watched it. Jay, do me a favour. Watch it. Do yourself, not me, a favour. Do yourself a favour. Johan watched it. The lads who said you told me to watch it. Teenagers from outer space. Please watch it. Please. It's brilliant. Well done. Oh, great. Great. I like Bateman from Arrested. Yeah, I think he's a great actor, and he does good series. You know, anything with him in, get onto it. Gallivanting, convorting, tashing a boot. That's what you say up there, isn't it, Luke? A lovely man. Frank, I'm still. Ladies and gentlemen, lovely Myra is still single. Frank has a chance, especially after his operation in 2 weeks' time. I'm getting my hair cut on Saturday. And after me up, I'm going to get my tooth back in. See there? I'm going to take that piece of gum out and get my tooth back in. My daughter said, go to Turkey, Dad. Take me with you. Want to go to them going up the road? JJ, I love Cranston from Malcolm in the Middle. Yes. And Going Bad. Brilliant. Thank you, Myra, for that wonderful piece of news. Now I can sleep tonight, because I thought I won't sleep again now. But that news, I'll be able to sleep happily and peacefully. John. Your Auntie Leah used to say, your old fella went out to buy a bag of sugar and was never seen again. And a bottle of milk, come on. And a bottle of milk. Oh, John. How do you know me, Auntie Leah? How do you know me, Auntie Leah, mate? Why? See the way the mystery fellas come in? Hey, you know the family, me Auntie Leah. Lovely looking woman, me Auntie Leah. Says John. Have a great night, folks. Wrapping up my work day, says Dennis. You too, Dennis. I showed Dennis something when he was walking around with Liverpool with his bandmates, you know, coming over from Temple, America to play at the Cavern. And I told him. And he was made up. But what I told him, so I can't tell you, because I really want to show you myself after my holiday. Not my holiday, my operation. I want to show you it. And you'll go, wow. Definitely show you it myself, personally, if you come down and see me. And Davey said, I've been single for 8 years. Ex said, I like pasta too much. I'm feeling kind of lonely. Yeah, hey, come on. Kind of lonely. I feel like kind of lonely now. It's lovely cannelloni as well. I don't blame you, Myra, sweetheart. Don't blame you, sweetheart. Really. No commitment. Just commit yourself to me and come over to me. I don't like long trips, you see. I don't like long go. So I can't get over there to South Africa and all them elephants and gorillas and lions. Good night, Dennis, says Phil. Frank, get in there. Davy's going. Reet Emhoff got a first class flight ticket to South Africa. Oh, I'll carry a case of says Phil. But he's like, see, Myra, what you've done? See what you've done to these poor lads and me. Thanks for another good night on the History Show, Frank. So, good night. God bless to Frank and fellow chatters. So, peace and love and unity, everyone. And see you on the next one. Tomorrow night, JFT 97. Tomorrow night is the football show, and you can talk about Bezos, you can talk about the other dumps as well that's running Liverpool Football Club. I'm made up. I'm glad that some of you enjoyed it anyway. Night, Stephen, says Phil. And JJ's laughing his head off. That's Eve. Giraffe to go. Giraffe to go. I've got to go. Oh. And Phil says Liverpool first. That went well. I know. You'd be surprised, you know, honestly. And they're not even marked down. It shows you what some of our historians like about Liverpool, don't you? But anyway, that's it, folks. I never say that, do I, folks? And I never say it in depth. They never say guys. I fucking hate that American terminology. Guys. Excuse me. Have you noticed I haven't itched tonight? Should have seen me. I was lying on my bed, you know, as you do, like a big jump. I was lying there like that. It's just like that I was. Looking at the ceiling as usual. Then you look there, don't you? And you go, nothing there. Nothing there. Then you look there and you see your medication there. You go, fucking hell. So I'm lying there like that. And the next, a fly comes in. You know, one of them fucking blue bottle things. Bzz, bzz. Got it. I sneaked out. I had to sneak out. Closed the door. I said, you're going to fucking die, you. So I got me can of spray. You know, me fly killer and wasp killer. I'm lying there. Oh, I was flying around merrily. And I went by the telly, because I've got the telly there. And I went by the telly, came over towards me, and I went, tss, 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 tss. Got it. And then I looked over the window, and it was bouncing up and down on the window, seeing it dying. I hate flies. Hate them. But it was a big buzzer. A massive buzzer. And Davey says, she also said I was too old and liked tennis too much. What? I said, I'm only 40. You must have a great night. up in the castle wasn't even those bad jokes. I'm only 14 months. I was here on your own. Do you know what? I couldn't crack a joke, you know. I could never crack a joke. Just like my old girl, her joke, I've got to tell you. She said, all these English fellas jumped on the big galleon, the big Spanish galleon, and the captain, you know, and he said, where's your captain? And he ran, and he saw, and he ran down to see the captain, and the captain was sitting there, the Spanish captain. And he said, where's your buccaneers? The English captain said, where's your buccaneers? And he said, on me buccaneers. She loved that joke. She went to pass. She passed on telling that joke. On me buccaneers. Where's your buccaneers? On me buccaneers. And I still keep a photo of her in my wallet to remind me why there's no money. And Phil said, Frank, no joke last night. I woke up and saw two visions. One, a lady standing there, thought it was my wife, and asked her what she was doing. One of two. And you're going to mention it tomorrow night, aren't you? To see what JJ said there. On the side of me buccanet. It was a favourite joke. Favourite joke. She slid upwards and disappeared. Then another looked at her lazy cradle and a child's very tall figure. She said, she slid upwards. I went, is that true? Is that true? The RSPCA would call you a criminal for that fly once. Green light and military. AT, you know who. Yes. And you know what? It's mad, isn't it? Johan, our kid, I've got to talk to our kid. And I'll speak to you later. Okay, Johan. I've got to talk to our kid. Salute. Oh, and JJ says, my granddad's joke too, was it? Can he, everyone? Thank you, Davey. Thank you, mate. I wasn't going to do any more football shows. Remember when that prick called us or murderers, you know, I fucking hate that. But anyway, it's all past now. And fucking hell. And John, your Auntie Lear is a good company, just like your ma, Angie. Real funny and quick-witted, just like your good self. Fucking hell, John. So you knew me old girl. Well, you knew the family then, if you knew me Auntie Lear as well. Fucking hell. And Phil says, Frank, I had the quit. Oh, go away. I'm going to tell Jason. I've got to tell Jason. I've got a photograph of what Steve Mulholland sent me. And it's weird. Because he goes like for gigs and theatre and he took a photograph. He said, have a look at this. And he wants Jamie, you know, the paranormal fella, to have a look. So I'll have Jamie on in a few weeks' time when I come out of Aussie. Everything will be out of Aussie now. All right, boys and girls, I'll leave it at that. And JJ, I think we've got a new, and John, got a new people with us, which is great. Can you subscribe just to get the algorithm up there, please? Thank you so much. And I'll leave you to it. See you tomorrow night. If you're a Liverpool fan, join me and talk about this Bezos fella, the friends of Netanyahu. And if he's a friend of him, he's a friend of Smollett, Givary, whatever his fucking name is, these horrible people. Good night, people. Thank you so much. Thank you. These are really good. Thanks for keeping me company. Hopefully see you some of you tomorrow. Ciao.